This is Fiction Madness.
The following episode contains graphic violence, intense thematical subjects, strong sound, and inappropriate language, all of which may be disturbing for some listeners. This program is not intended for children. Discretion is strongly advised.
For your personal safety, do not listen while driving a vehicle. Startling moments could cause an accident on the road. Be advised if you suffer from chronic anxiety or are easily unsettled by scary situations.
This is the cursed town.
This is an audio short series produced by Fiction Madness, created by yours truly, Don Luis Zavala. Prepare to face the unknown. Mother Nature has been kind to us. No storm, no earthquake, nothing that we couldn't handle ever hit us. For many years, we were a stable, small town of about 20,000 on the Atlantic coast, keeping to our families and welcoming tourists who were our biggest clientele. That was the Verhoeven I knew best, until a powerful hurricane turned it into something else.
Citizens are also urged to lock and barricade all doors, windows, and any other point of entry.
Evacuation began several days ago.
It's a Category 5, 155 mile per hour sustained winds.
All personnel, report to the nearest shelter.
What we were left with was a world we didn't recognize. There's plenty of footage on YouTube that shows what Hurricane Marco did to us. But if you weren't there, or if you've never been in the aftermath of something like this, you wouldn't understand what it was to be without power, without clean water, no phone signal, nothing but a time machine that flung us to a primitive era.
Is anyone out there? We're survivors held up in a warehouse. Supplies are running short. Is anyone out there? Please, we need help. We're almost out of food. Hello? We need help.
Everyone has a different opinion on what they think was the worst. For me, it was seeing corpses and open coffins drifting slowly down the flood streams. The smell of death was everywhere. The strong winds and tide devastated the St. John Memorial Cemetery, which sits less than a mile from the seashore. Other disturbing testimonies involve women and children being taken advantage of in ways I'd rather not go into details. Recovery has been much slower than we anticipated, and there is still plenty to do, specifically on infrastructure and in the poorest communities where many are not living under a safe roof. Our beaches are too dangerous to bathe in because of the debris still mired in the sand. Having less trees means occasional wildfires. This is what a major storm does to you. It gives you one problem after another, even if we continue getting recovery funds from the government. But remember, Marco impacted more than 500 square miles of land. Verhoeven is only 20, so we are entitled to just a small fraction of that help. Sometimes it feels like we don't matter anymore.
Everything's hard.
Depression, anxiety, self-harm.
I was gonna take my life today and
I could drink about 2 bottles of wine, suicidal thoughts, 3 to 5 beers, and hard liquor.
My life has changed dramatically.
It didn't take long for people to start losing faith and hope.
911, what's your emergency?
Oh my god. Another one?
Massive job loss, homelessness, the new normal drove many to rely on self-destructive habits to kill the pain. You know something? This town didn't used to be this grim. Quite the opposite, actually.
Let's go have a party!
70% of our economy depended on tourism. But after Marco, most hotel chains, restaurants, attractions, everything that provided us with a steady income never reopened. Now we have no choice but to rebuild everything by ourselves. The big problem is nobody wants to help. Banks and investors believe that allocating money here is a stupid move, out of fear that another storm could strike again. A third of our residents relocated, and those who remained are either collecting unemployment benefits or have taken lower-paying jobs. Even after power, water service, and communication was restored, Verhoeven continued walking on its own ashes, while wondering what sort of miracle could lift us out of this misery. Well, instead of a miracle, we got something very, very different.
Hello? Hello?
Who's there?
Hello?
Oh, no.
Oh, God! Oh!
Go ahead.
They're saying here he has reddish hair, about 5'8", wearing a beige-colored coat.
The missing person should be wearing like a gray and green cat and a gray jersey.
10-4.
This is the morning hour with a breaking news bulletin.
In the town of Verhoeven, a 26-year-old woman by the name of Rebecca McGraw was reported missing last night. She was last seen walking out of her job at the Tully Brothers convenience store located on Emerald Avenue.
Authorities say Rebecca must have disappeared somewhere between her job and her trailer home at the end of Road 4167. She doesn't own a car and walks 3 miles almost every day to make her shift.
If anybody has information on her whereabouts, please call the sheriff's office.
All I want is my daughter. That's all I care about.
This town has been through a lot in the past few months. Let us pray in the name of Jesus and hope Rebecca comes back.
Wow. This is truly a sight to see. All for just one person.
Her disappearance is a clear example of our failed recovery. It could have been anyone else.
She shouldn't have walked home alone in the first place.
Warren County PD can't yet say if the abduction was spontaneous or planned.
Rebecca's disappearance gave outsiders a window into what was happening in Verhoeven beyond the disaster Marco left us. It was a major distraction that achieved absolutely nothing, since neither County PD nor state could uncover a single piece of evidence, like tire marks on the road where she was allegedly abducted. The public's imagination took over, and everybody played detective, as if they knew exactly who kidnapped her and why. Rebecca's family, ex-boyfriends, colleagues, they all became targets of unfair accusations and harassment. And while we were immersed in that endless diversion, nobody had a solitary clue about what was really happening to her.
Hush, hush, my dear. Very soon, you will be free.
$2.
What was that?
I think it came from outside.
Over there! Oh my god!
What happened?
Oh my god! No! 911 now!
15 days after Rebecca went missing, she began to show up, one piece at a time.
In a heartbreaking turn of events, Warren County Forensics has concluded that the severed head found outside the Tully Brothers convenience store is that of Rebecca McGraw.
The other dismembered limbs that were also found outside the Second Baptist Church, near City Hall, and in a ditch on Crowley Road, matched perfectly with Rebecca's DNA. Her torso has yet to be recovered.
Even with only half of Rebecca's body available for analysis, the police couldn't find a suspect. Without a lead and no witnesses, they expected this case to be long and treacherous.
Where are my fucking keys? Oh, here they are.
Okay, I'm gonna go off script and get in my car because I want to take you guys somewhere. Alright. Here we go. Sorry to drag you guys into this, but I want to say a few things. First of all, I'm not a cop. I don't work in law enforcement at all. Heck, I don't even work for the press. I'm simply a former business owner with an idea of what I think happened to Rebecca. But to give you a little bit of an insight into what I do and why I think Rebecca was a victim of something bigger than just an abduction and a mutilation, I think I should give you guys a little bit of background on certain things, but particularly on Verhoeven. This town, ever since colonial times, has been very superstitious. This is something that people from Europe brought along with them to practice freely. Witchcraft, tarot card readings, fortune-telling, astrology, white magic, and black magic. And settling in this remote part of the country, it became easier to practice that sort of thing. Even if Verhoeven is still largely a Christian town, we don't mind digging into the occult. And I, as a business owner, I had my own little occult shop right by the beach on Ocean Park Avenue. It was called Poseidon. And I used to sell many things. Souvenirs, tarot cards, candles, religious figurines, home decorations, potions, perfumes, anything related to, the practice of the unorthodox side of spiritualism. And also, I'm pretty good at reading people's astrological charts. The only problem is that when Marco hit us, my business, which was in a 2-story building, everything just was destroyed. The property owner didn't want to rebuild. Everything that I used to sell was gone. And now I'm like many other people, living off unemployment and insurance money. I've been able to continue providing astrological readings online. That's what I'm using to, get my feet off the ground. I still want to get back to do what I know how to do best. Now, why am I saying all of this? Why bother talking to you about my life? What does it have to do with Rebecca at all? Okay. I have a strong feeling that Rebecca was part of a brutal ritual. I'm not exactly sure which one, but ever since prehistoric times, we Homo sapiens have performed religious sacrifices for the gods or for different reasons. Now, where am I getting this idea? Well, for one thing, I know my people, and I know my town really well. In the area where Rebecca lived, Wheaton Plains, is the farthest sector in Verhoeven, and it's one of the most dangerous parts of town. But between Wheaton Plains and a neighboring sector called Summersville, those communities harbor ex-convicts, addicts, prostitutes, you name it. Those sectors practice the most extreme rites that the occult sciences have to offer, and in ways that many years ago, people would steal cats, dogs, pigs, and perform mutilations, gathered around campfires. A lot of that was very common from the early 20th century, and maybe even further back, up until the 1990s when Verhoeven's tourism industry had its boom. It gave a lot of people stuff to do. It gave them opportunity, it gave them employment. When Airbnb came over, a lot of homes were remodeled, rebuilt, some new properties were constructed. But after Marco's destruction, many don't have anything to do. And when you have a lot of time in your hands, a lot of anger, resentment, well, that should give you a clue as to what I think may be happening in this town. Okay, believe it or not, I'm in Road 4167. It's where Rebecca was allegedly abducted. If you've never been to Wheaton Plains, there's a large chunk where there's nothing but just trees and mud. Nothing else. So Rebecca punched out at 7 p.m. and went on foot back home in this much darkness. I mean, it's just, I don't know how she did it. I don't even know why nobody volunteered to, give her a lift. Why am I here? Okay. Remember what I told you guys about, my theory? I mean, Warren County PD knows that, this neighborhood was known for those type of ceremonies that I mentioned, the one involving the animals. But the problem is that I'm not hearing or reading anywhere in the press that that's the angle the authorities are following. So that they're really not approaching that theory, which is mine. And I haven't called up the sheriff to tell him my perspective. I don't think he needs it right now unless, I bring him some evidence. But what type of evidence? Well, that's why I'm here. There's just got to be something that, I don't know, maybe the police missed while canvassing the whole terrain. I'm not going to go very far from my vehicle. I'm just going to look around and keep my ears open and my eyes open if, I don't know, anything shows up. But I think the more I stay in my car, the more nervous I get. So I'm going to walk out. Okay. Let me try to stay as quiet as possible. Feels almost kind of stupid to be here, but there's gotta be something. Like maybe a religious symbol carved on a tree. So hard looking with a flashlight and all this black. No idea where that's coming from. Fuck. Was that even real? What the fuck was that? What the fuck? Oh fuck. Oh please don't follow me. Don't follow me. This concludes this episode of The Cursed Town. If you wish to be notified when we release a new chapter, all you need to do is subscribe to this channel, Fiction Madness, on your favorite podcast platform. You can also view my other published fiction works in the links found in the description. I am Don Luis Zavala. Thank you for listening.